Thousands of people demonstrated around France to mark the second anniversary of the Toulouse attacks. 4 Jews were killed in a deadly shooting spree by radical Islamist Mohamed Merah in March 2012. 2 years on, many feel the situation for Jews is getting worse. In Paris, Toulouse and other major cities, mass protest rallies were called by France's Jewish umbrella group, the CRIF. Their objective was to mobilize the population against rising anti-Semitism. 2 years after one of the worst attacks on Jews, the anniversary of the victims of Mohamed Merah provided both a moment of remembrance and a chance once more to highlight the dangers of anti-Semitism in France.
I don't feel reassured because there is a hatred that has been unleashed and which is growing. But there is no awareness in the community of the importance of such a tragic event.
Candles were lit in memory of the 4 victims, Miriam Montenegro, Rabbi Jonathan Sandler and his 2 sons, Aryeh and Gabriel. Their grandfather Samuel dedicated them the Kaddish prayer. For some in the audience, the media is to blame for the hostility towards them.
I hold the media partially responsible. I think the way they cover information is totally biased. For instance, when Israel enters Gaza, they don't explain why. Because they were hit by 10 rockets right before.
The rally was attended by heads of the Jewish community, religious leaders and members of a socialist government, many of whom distinguish today's anti-Semitism from the old extreme right.
This new anti-Semitism feeds off hatred against Israel. It's nourished by anti-Zionism, because anti-Zionism is the gateway to anti-Semitism.
The French Interior Ministry recently banned performances by Dieudonné Mbala, a vocal critic of the Jewish state. His shows have been criticized for inciting hatred towards Jews. The socialist government has vowed to step up the fight against anti-Semitism.
I think it was important that this day of commemoration was also a day to spread awareness. We owe it to the victims of Mohamed Merah to fight constantly and relentlessly against all forms of anti-Semitism and racism.
On the 26th of January, mass crowds shouted anti-Semitic slogans and called for Jews to leave the country.
Jews of France, without you, France is no longer France. We need you just as much as we need every other French person. Be proud to be French. Be proud to be both Jewish and French. Be proud to say it out loud to the world. French Jews represent more than ever the Republic and our values.
At a time where a growing number of Jews questioned their future in France, the minister's comments were well received.
It was really at the top level, and I think that the crowd was very moved and expressed its satisfaction very strongly.
Satisfied, but still vigilant. But many will hope that the evening will have been enough to alert the public about the dangers of anti-Semitism and enough to persuade Jews that their future remains in France. Paris's commemoration ceremony was marked by candles, prayers and passionate speeches from some of France's top officials, including French Interior Minister Manuel Valls, who received a standing ovation for his crackdown on comedian Dieudonné Mbala. The evening didn't just focus on remembering the victims of anti-Semitism, but also sought to understand its causes, so as to prevent new Mohamed Merahs. I'm Christina Rokello for JN1 in Paris.